knock 'em and drop 'em, point 'em out and knock 'em out. All names for a disturbing trend now drawing concern nationwide.
Whoever comes walking down the block or something, they just knock them out.
In Pittsburgh, this teacher was punched so hard he collapsed headfirst into the concrete curb. This man in Brooklyn was also knocked unconscious. And even women are being attacked. There have been 7 recent cases in New York City alone, and the game has turned fatal in at least 4 documented attacks. Syracuse, St. Louis, Chicago, and Hoboken, New Jersey, the site of the latest fatal attack. These boys, seen in video from a security camera after the incident, have been charged with the murder. They are just 13 and 14 years old. Jeffrey Butts specializes in youth criminal justice at John Jay College.
We know from brain studies that the part of your brain that gets fired up through excitement and thrill-seeking actually develops more quickly and fires up more quickly than the other part of your brain, which comes along a few years later, which is about judgment and discretion.
He says there's no real pattern to the way the attackers choose their victims, but they're always alone, and they stand out.
The victims are someone who the young people consider to be an other. So that could be a racial difference, it could be a religious difference, it could be an age difference, it just could be a class difference.
Nothing in the so-called knockout game is about a fair fight.
Keeping yourself aware of what's going on around you, who is around you, where you're going, what that person is up to, what you're up to, what are you capable of paying attention to. So in this game, it may be a group of kids. You may hear a loud group of kids. They may sneak up on you. You may not hear them. The best way to do that is maintain 360-degree visual surveillance. Now, as we talked earlier, you're in the Wawa, you're in Whole Foods, you're in the store, and you're picking out some groceries or some things. It may not be as big of a deal to maintain 360-degree security. But as soon as you come back out into that unknown, uncontrolled area, that street corner, that alley, that parking lot, that parking garage, in that dark place, or even in the daytime, you need to really start picking your head up, putting your phone down, and looking around and scanning the area for additional threats, right? You have to have 3 things for an attack to take place successfully. You have to have an unsuspecting victim, you have to have a motivated assailant, and you have to have an opportunity for that assailant to attack the victim and then get away. Now, it sounds like that fact pattern can go for just about any crime. So we're going to talk about just about any crime. Right now, we're talking about assault game, but you're going to put knockout game, sexual assault, rape, kidnap, homicide, robbery. You could put whatever you want in there. You need to have an unsuspecting victim, a motivated assailant, and an opportunity to get that job done. So how can you protect yourself, right? One is we can't always walk around worrying about all 3 of those things. We would just go crazy. We would go crazy, okay? And I'm not going to ask you to do that. What I do want you to do is pick times when you are in an area that is new, dark, uncontrolled. It doesn't feel right when you're following your spidey senses, something like that. When you're following all those new things, those new scenes, those new sounds, even new smells, things that just have you just looking around. Pay attention to those spidey senses and keep your guard up, keep your phone away, keep it ready to run or to defend yourself, okay? That's when I want you paying attention. That's when I don't want your headphones in when you're walking down the street at 1 o'clock in the morning in an area that you're not familiar with. You never hear anybody coming up on you, okay? If you do see strange people and they're looking at you and maybe you think they're following you, pick up your phone, call the police, call 911, let them know where you are, let them know what's going on. I understand in big cities, it may take some time for law enforcement to get there, but you call them, you get them en route, and you let those ne'er-do-wells know that you're on the phone with the police and they're about a minute away, and hopefully they won't assault you, okay? Now, say you get to your office building, you get to that front door and you want to get in. You want to make sure nobody gets in behind you, right? You might have a key, you might have a key card, you might have somebody there who recognizes you and opens the door. You want to wait until the coast is clear until you get in and then make sure that door locks behind you, right? You have to be prepared to fight if someone is going to try to take you from that location to a secondary location. We talked about this before. People who get taken to a secondary location are either raped or raped and killed. Okay. Out of all the techniques to increase your chances of surviving one of these attacks or knockout games is awareness. And you've heard me talk about that numerous times and how it specifically applies here and how much your awareness is really predicated upon what you are doing at the time and how much focus you're willing to give other things that are in your area or your field of vision. Okay. When you're driving down the road, we always tell you don't text, right? You text, you look up, you covered about 150 feet and the car in front of you stopped. How many people do we know have rear-ended somebody by doing that? You just took your eyes off for just 1 second and you crashed in the car in front of you. Heaven forbid it was a person or a child, right? Think about that same thing when you're walking down the street and you look down and you text and that group says, there's the target, and they gang up and they come up and they take you and they do what they want with you just because you texted or answered a Facebook message or sent a picture of your puppy. Okay. There's a time and a place for that. But when you're out walking in an area that you don't control, that's the big thing, an area that you don't control. There are no police standing around. There's not a lot of just regular people standing around. You don't control that area. You have to be ready. You have to have your head on the swivel. You have to be ready to run. You have to be ready to fight. Okay? I don't want you to choose to be a victim. I want you to choose to be a victor. Okay? A victor wins. So let's just go over real quick what we talked about. Again, that knockout game, we could substitute any assault for that, whether it be physical assault, a robbery, a sexual assault, aggravated assault, or a murder. It's all the same setup, okay? The setup is you have an unsuspecting victim, you have a motivated assailant, and you have an opportunity to commit the crime. So when those three things come together, it makes it much easier for that assailant to get that unsuspecting victim into an area where he or she can commit his crime, initially to probably knock that person out, get that person to a secondary location, and then have their way with them. Okay? And I know this sounds terrible and morbid, but this is what's going on. People out there, I need you to be protected. I need your children to be protected. And I need you to be thinking about this when you're walking to your Uber at 1 o'clock in the morning in New York City or Philadelphia or Chicago or Detroit or pick a city. Okay? I need you to be thinking of that. All right? Last thing, 3 conditions. Condition orange. Condition orange means I think there might be a threat. I'm up, I'm looking around, I'm scanning, I'm preparing my defenses, my escapes, looking for improvised weapons, I'm looking for someplace to hide. That's condition orange. Condition yellow is what you should generally be in. You should generally be in condition yellow where there's not a specific threat. You're just kind of chilling. You're aware, but you're just chilling. It's kind of like you're sitting at that outside cafe, having a cup of coffee with your friend, and there's people walking by you. You pay attention to them, but you're not thinking of them. You don't think one of them is going to take a knife out of their pocket and stab you, right? You're just chilling. You're in condition yellow. You're having a good time. You're chilling, but you are aware. Condition white, that should only be reserved if you're getting a massage or if you have the covers pulled up, your head on a pillow, and you're about 3 seconds away from dreamland. Okay, condition white is just that. You are so completely relaxed and out of touch and out of reality that your brain, your mind, your senses, everything is just turned off. There's nothing wrong with that. You just do that in a safe place. So if something were to come in, if something were to raise the threat level, you would have ample time to move up that chain, to get the condition orange, to get some weapon systems, to get some people together, or to get an escape plan to protect yourself and your loved ones. Everybody get that? All right. So you don't want to walk around in condition white, nothing can ever happen. But I don't want you walking around condition orange like you're already getting in a fight. Be in condition yellow, scan the threat area, look for anomalies, protect yourself and your friends, make it second nature, keep yourself alive, keep your friends alive. Don't be a statistic. Don't be a victim. Be a victor. As always, stay safe, and be ready.